In this video, something that a few people have requested, and that's to continue my truck tour of the inside with what I've got on the outside. So yeah, the outside, I have all sorts of stuff attached to my truck, like signage. This is a table that folds down. When I was doing fairs, I used to have a clipboard on there so that people could put their name down. All these little Velcro dots was where all my laminated information and signage went up. It's still up there because I might still do the odd event or odd market or something. So yeah, that's that. We're going to look at all sorts of things here. This is actually a metal hanger. I used to hang a plant from it, and I may do again one day. I stopped doing it actually because my awning I used at the fairs hooks up there, and it just didn't work with the plant hanger, and I got sick of lugging a plant hanger in and out every time I stopped and started. But I'm not travelling as fast now, so it could potentially work quite a bit better. So yeah, that's that. That, contrary to many people's thoughts, because it has a cat on it, which somebody gave me, is my water filler. It's not a cat door. The cat door is actually in the back. It's in here, so Feeny can walk through there, and in the back door, which works quite well. Here I've got a bit more of my signage, and this little table, which I originally made to put my cup of coffee on, but it's also the cat's favourite seat. Cats love being up high, so yeah, this one it folds up when I drive as well. That's what I like about having a wooden vehicle. It's so easy to attach stuff, you know. If you want to put something on it, it's really, really easy. Door knocker, which is really only there because I like it, and a solar sensor light, which I quite like. It's quite handy when you're, wandering around in the dark, doing whatever you're doing. So yeah, that's the side. I've got tanks. They're both 370 litres. That's the grey water, sorry, that's the fresh water. Both 370 litres, so I've got plenty of water for showers and things like that, which is really nice. It's actually something I really, really wanted when I sold my bus and was looking at another vehicle, was those little luxuries, like having enough water. They're quite important. My first bus only had 80 litres of water, and you have a shower and do some dishes and you need to fill up again. Whereas this, yeah, I can shower when I want to, do dishes, whatever, and it lasts me at very least a week, depending on, how much I'm using. Probably longer than that. I tend to fill it up about once a week because that way I know it's full. Also, what I do is I undo the little wing screw thing under there and drain my tank regularly, especially in summer, because it gets warm. Your water's warm, it's just sitting in there and you keep topping it up, and I don't think that's such a good idea to have it sitting in a warmish plastic tank for that long, or whatever it's made out of. I think it's plastic. So I like to empty all my water out and start from fresh quite regularly in summer. So yeah, I'm not consuming water that's been sitting. I've also got a water filter for my drinking water, so that's quite good. I was actually looking at getting a better water filter, but it's just been pointed out to me that reverse osmosis water wastes 20% of your water, because that's what I was looking at putting in here. But yeah, no, I don't really want to waste 20% of my water every time it gets filtered, so I think I'll give that a miss and stick to my one. My one's quite a fine one, it's quite a good one. It gets out bacteria and stuff like that anyway, so yeah, so that's all good. Those, for people who haven't seen them, are my steps. They're actually really heavy. really heavy. And they go on the back when I'm travelling. If I ever have to replace them, I'm going to go for aluminium, I think, and make them a bit lighter, because they really are quite a lump to drag up there. So yeah, they go in here and get strapped across with that. So that's where the steps go when I'm travelling. At the back I've got a locker. In that I've got blocks, grey hose, paint, stuff like that. Stuff that isn't too fussy. You know, it doesn't matter if it gets damp or dusty or anything like that. The whole truck's a bit dusty because there's a bit of gravel road here, so it gets like that. Here and behind here I've also got a fold-up ladder, which I find really important. I bought that pretty soon after I got the truck, and it's, yeah, really handy to be able to get up and get on the roof to do jobs, because sometimes you just have to, you have a leak or something happens, a branch gets stuck up there or something like that. These are just my fridge vents. I've put some fans in behind there to make the fridge work a bit better. I've just got some computer fans. This is my gas bottle locker, so that's really well ventilated. There's no issues with that. Right. Yeah, we've got batteries. So I've got two of these 195 amp hour batteries for house batteries, they're AGM batteries, so I've got two of those in there. And that little fella is my starting battery, because it's a 12 volt start. Because it's a 12 volt start, it's yeah, just one little battery. And I've also got, don't know if you can see it, it might be a bit dark up there. I've got one of those units, little diodes, so when I'm driving the alternator charges that battery first, and then once that's full it starts, which is quite handy in winter especially. You know, every time I drive my batteries get filled up, so it's quite a nice sort of extra bit on top of the solar. These were made for me by my lovely friend Len. He actually made them. I love them. They have a whole story to them. They've got a wagon wheel and a moorpork and a koru and the eagle, because I was born in Germany, so he put the eagle there. So that's really nice. I really love that. On the front I have my bike, which I had to modify the bike rack. I need to do something a bit more permanent with that, because it rusted out at the bottom where it was welded on, and so I've put it on there with two U-bolts and a screw through it, and really it's strong, but it's kind of awkward because it's got it really hard up, tight up against the truck, and this I always have to watch out that it's not interfering with the windscreen wiper. So yeah, it was just one of those roadside adventures of fixing it. And yes, it's solid, it's strong, but it really could do with a bit of a sort out. It's not perfect. And a couple of weeks ago I also put some new tyres on my bike, which is awesome. I can use it again now. They were really split from being out in the sun, because you know this bike hangs out here in the weather, all sorts of weather, so the tyres are corroded with the sunshine. I do cover the seat with a shower cap because it's a really comfortable, good seat, and I don't want that to get messed up with the sun. So the bane of my life on the outside are these things. I'd really like to find some new ones because they're really not in very good shape. They work, but they're just not in very good shape at all. So yeah, I'm going to have a hunt for those. I might even have to see Lance Cryer and see if he's got any. So yeah, so that's the outside. I've also got a lamp there which doesn't go, it's just there for decoration really. I could make it go. This pipe is the vent pipe for my grey tank. I had to put that on when I went for my first self-containment certificate. And it used to have a bit of smell coming out of it in bad weather, and I had this funny filter thing in the cupboard. It's just an inline filter, but I went over to a fireplace and broke up some charcoal and shoved it in there and screwed it on there, and it actually works really, really well. I didn't want to spend $80 on a charcoal smell filter for my grey vent, so I just shoved that in the pipe and it really helps. I don't get those putrid yucky smells in hot weather out of my grey tank anymore, which is really, really nice. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna sit down here, borrow the cat's chair. Check out the cat's chair. That's why she has her own chair, because she just destroys them. She just absolutely wrecks her chairs. And yeah, so anyway, what I wanted to talk about was my solar on the roof. On the roof I've got a 250 watt panel at the back. I'll get some footage from the drone for that. So that one was quite hard to get up there on my own. I made some bracket out of just aluminium angle iron and got another regulator and put that in place and attached all that, but it was actually a bit of a job. I had to borrow a couple of guys to pass it up to me after I climbed up on the roof. It's big. It was a bit scary doing that job. And at the front I've got an 85 watt panel and a 120 watt panel that go through a different regulator. And the reason my solar is such a higgledy-piggledy arrangement of different sizes is because when I bought this truck 14 years ago, it had one 65 watt panel that was faulty. It had a dead sector, it leaked, it had water enter in behind the glass at some point, and it was, yeah, I used to put in about 1.5 amps on a really good day. Really wasn't a very good panel, so when the price of panels came down, I bought the 85 watt one and put that beside it. And then when I got the 120 watt one, I got rid of the old faulty 60 watt or whatever it was one and put that on there. And then I had those two, and then yeah, couple of years later I ordered the 250 watt one and the MPPT regulator, which is apparently better anyway, and put that up there. So yeah, I've got a bit of an odd arrangement of bits and sods and things like that on my roof. If I'd started from scratch knowing what I wanted to do, and if solar panels had been a bit more affordable, I would have laid it out a whole lot differently actually, but I don't want to move them because I've made holes in the roof. So yeah, I don't really want to make more holes in the roof and move them again. I don't like making holes in my roof. Even when I put up my little aerial, my little antenna thing for the internet, I actually screwed that onto something else rather than make more holes in the roof. I really prefer not to, but I don't trust, you know, some people glue their solar panels on. I just don't trust that. So under my brackets, under my angle aluminium I use to make mountings for the big panel, there's a lot of really good quality silicone, and I'll keep an eye on that and I'll redo that if it breaks down. But I used a really good quality one. It does make a difference. A good quality silicone will last so much longer than a cheapo one. So yeah, and quite often I find the cheapo ones too, they don't smooth out very nicely. They're kind of lumpy and blobby and hard to use, so I do prefer buying a good one. So yeah, and one that's paintable is good too. So those are all things I look out for. But yeah, that's essentially the outside of my truck. I've actually made a video about how my whole back deck works, that is in my videos, so I made a whole video about that. There's not a lot more to say about the outside really, apart from that it's plywood. Underneath it, it's a full aluminium skin because it used to be a box body truck. It used to be a furniture truck originally in Auckland, I think. And so yeah, it's got the lutein underneath it, so the plywood's essentially just to pretty it up, to make it look more interesting. And yeah, it's not absolutely its main skin or waterproofing and things like that, so that's quite good. And yeah, no, that's pretty much how it's built. The walls are very, very thick because it has very strong, thick framing in it, because it was a furniture truck and they tie furniture, strop it to the walls so it doesn't fall over when they're driving. And yeah, so it's got that. So she's a solid wee beastie. Not the lightest thing. There's certain things in building it that I maybe would have done different, but I like it the way it is. It doesn't annoy me enough that I want to change it. So yeah. So anyway, if you've got any questions about any of that, please put it in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like it, and I'll come up with something a bit different and a bit new to do next time, I feel. I do like doing something a bit useful in my videos rather than just where I'm driving and what I'm doing. I prefer to have content with good usable information in it. So if you've got any good ideas or topics that would make a good video, yeah, please put that in the comments below, and I'll see you all next time.